Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be talking more about the Batman. In this video, we'll be going over the r/TheBatmanFilm subreddit. But before we get into it, if you guys are new here, make sure that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you don't miss anytime I upload a new video or I go live. Both always need more time. Let's get into it. Before starting, I want to preface that I am not being sponsored by this subreddit, if that's even a thing. I'm not being paid by them. I'm not supposed to be promoting them. I just like this subreddit and I wanted to go through it because I am a big TheBatmanFilm fan and I'm not going over any crazy rumors, theories, anything like that. But yeah, this is the subreddit, starting off with the first post, Colin Ferrel's high praise for Matt Reeves. I'm not going to read out the entirety of all of these quotes that are on here. I'll read some of the posts out, but not the quotes. But you can see from this quote that Colin Ferrel thinks that Matt Reeves is really ingested into this universe of Batman, and that's really what I love. I think Matt Reeves is the perfect director because of how much he loves the mythology of Batman. And that was shown at DC Fandom, I think it was like last summer. And so this really shows how much Matt Reeves loves this universe. So I think that Warner Brothers has been Batman has been put in good hands with Colin Ferrel, and Warner Brothers did a great job with Matt Reeves and having Matt Reeves in charge of this Batman trilogy. Also, I think in terms of talking about Colin Ferrel, this has been news all day, but there's a post about it right here. Colin Ferrel revealed he has a small role and is in 5 or 6 scenes in The Batman. Now, Colin Ferrel is been cast as the Penguin, so you might be confused. Why is he only playing a small role with 5 or 6 scenes? I personally think it's because they're going to build his character up slowly over time, and I think that the Gotham PD show, and since it's a prequel, I think that's what's going to be building up his character. I think that Colin Farrell's Penguin is already going to be a figure in Gotham. I think he's going to be the figure that kind of works with Pattinson in trying to resolve corruption while still building his own evil empire up in the undergrounds of Gotham, if that makes sense. And then eventually he'll take over and Batman will have to fight him in maybe the second or third movie, which I'm happy for because I'm glad that Colin Farrell's Penguin is going to be a character that they build up over time. And we know that why would they cast Colin Farrell for Penguin for 5 to 6 scenes? He's definitely going to be in the Gotham PD show. I really just have an itch that he will be, and I think that show will really flesh out his corrupt side that we won't necessarily get to see too much in the Batman movie, because he's going to be showing his good side to Bruce Wayne in this movie because he wants to get on Bruce Wayne's good side. So yeah, I don't necessarily think Colin Farrell's Penguin is going to be much of a bad guy in the new Batman movie, but I think that he will be in maybe Batman 2 or Batman 3 somewhere down the line. But moving on, the next post, this one says, I wouldn't be surprised if this happened. It makes perfect sense. All right, so this one basically just talks about why he cut his hair and how it links to the GCPD show. I don't necessarily think it's completely related because even after his role in Good Time where he dyed his hair, even in some movies of Twilight where he had to dye his hair, he literally got a buzz cut afterwards. So it kind of makes sense why. And also he has to dye his hair black for this role, I think, or dark brown. And so he always cuts his hair or either buzz cuts it off after a movie, after he's done filming a movie. But the potential reasons why he might have cut his hair, number one, it's just the role is over for now. He's gonna film the next one in maybe a year and a half, or even a year or a year and a half away. So he doesn't need that black hair anymore. But it could also be that he's shooting prequel shots. I think that's the most realistic thing ever, especially because the GCPD HBO show, we don't even know what phase of production they're in. They haven't even announced a full cast list for the show. So we really don't know what is going to happen in that show. We don't know any production status, so it doesn't really make sense where we're talking about how he has to quit the movie. That doesn't really make sense. Also, I don't think he's going to be in the GCPD show full time at all. I think he might make a cameo, but I really don't think he'd quit an entire show or an entire movie just off of filming cameo scenes, because I don't think he's going to be in the full thing. But one reason why he might have quit it is because of scheduling conflicts with the promotion for the Batman movie. I mean, the movie comes out March 4th, so it is fairly soon. I'm expecting heavy promotions to start after DC Fandom, which I think is in October sometime. So I'm expecting heavy stuff to start happening, especially just even after the Suicide Squad movie, which is coming out in the beginning of August. So I think after August, the next DC movie is literally The Batman, which is insane to even think about. So I'm excited. I think that press will be starting very soon, and this movie, the Denis Villeneuve's movie that he's directing, stars at noon, I think that one starts production fairly soon. So it makes sense why Robert Pattinson wants to dedicate his time to the press tour of the Batman. So I think it's smart, but I don't think the cutting hair or anything like that has to do with the GCPD HBO show. I think it more has to do with either shooting new scenes for the movie that are prequel shots, or just a coincidence that he's cutting his hair because he's done with the Batman role for now. The next post says, how do you think the poster of the film will look? He said, personally, given from Matt Reeves' previous films, I think it'll either be a Batman head with the Riddler above him or inside the cowl, or a photographic picture without any altering. Maybe Batman looking up at a bat signal or some criminals running from Batman. So that's my thought. What are yours? So this guy actually right underneath that posted this photo right here. This looks absolutely crazy. Like, I like this a lot. I'm actually setting this as my phone wallpaper, so I really like that. But I do think that we'll get a poster with some sort of theme of red and black. I think at a certain point, we'll get a fully red and black poster. We already have that calendar poster thing that's like bluish. So I think that we'll get a lot of colorful, like certain color schemed posters. But in terms of visuals, like actual photos, I do think that this guy would be fairly close, but I do think that we'll see Batman somewhat of like a hood or something like that. And I think that we'll get different versions of just a Batman and the same exact poster with Bruce Wayne, especially since this movie is dealing with the mental conflict, I guess you could say, that Batman is having, more so than like Ben Affleck's. Like Ben Affleck's Batman obviously had that identity crisis problem, but this Batman seems like he's gonna be like, they're gonna like fully dive into it, and like it's gonna affect every single aspect of his life that we get to see. So I think that we'll see like the exact same poster, but we'll have different versions. So maybe it'll be like a Bruce Wayne poster, but instead of the Riddler in the back, it could be Colin Farrell's Penguin. And then we'll get a Batman one with the Riddler behind him. So I think we'll get like the same kind of poster, but just different variations, one with Bruce Wayne and one with the Batman. This one said, this guy also said that he could be looking up at a bat signal. I think that's also a pretty cool idea. Or another one would be, you can have a bunch of criminals, like he said, some criminals running from Batman. It could be a bunch of criminals on the poster and then Batman's shadow cast over them with a bat signal in the sky. This other guy said, I'd love for the poster to be on a rooftop on the left half of the poster with Batman standing on top of it, looking to the right on top of a gargoyle. There's a bat signal of a question mark shining on the background. We see the Riddler, Catwoman, and Penguin below with the Cobblepot for Mayor poster and a Don Falcone newspaper stuck to the side of a building, as well as a couple of the Batman letters in the air, like the Long Halloween Part 1 poster. Batman is the biggest in the poster. I think this is absolutely awesome. I would love to see this poster. I wasn't really thinking about putting a bunch of like the main characters in the poster. I was really just thinking of Riddler and the Batman. I wasn't really thinking of Catwoman at all. I completely forgot about her being in a poster. So I think actually this might be the best idea for a poster. I really like this guy's idea. And then some guy said literally this and then posted this photo. I think this is awesome. I don't think we'll get just gargoyles, but I think it would be cool to see like a Batman and then a gargoyle. But we also know that there's a scene, like a behind the scenes photo, where he's standing on top of a building and there's gargoyles next to him. And there's been a lot of photos where we just see gargoyles. Like there's just a lot of them in the movie, at least from the behind the scenes that we can see. So I think that's a cool idea. I was thinking something along the lines of this type of poster, but maybe instead of the gargoyles, it could be like Catwoman and Penguin, or it could be Penguin or Batman in the front, then Riddler behind him, and then Penguin behind that, or some variation of that. I think that would be super cool, and it would just be their heads. But yeah, moving on, this guy said he found the Hot Wheels 2022 Batmobile at his local Target, guys. I'm actually gonna go look at my Target, Dollar Tree, and all that for this. I've been seeing a lot of people, a lot more people have been finding them. I know originally when people were seeing them, it was really rare, but I've been seeing a lot more people get this Hot Wheels toy, and I really, really like it. I really want it. If I do end up getting it, I'll be making a whole video on it, so don't worry if I do get it, but I'll be vlogging if I do get it. So I really want to go look for this. I might just drive around a bunch of Targets in my city one day and just look for it. So this guy said, I love Matt Reeves' Justice League hints, from the Gothamites just as Superman and Wonder Woman, a Halloween party, to the small Flash logo in Chicago. I love how Reeves is hinting at larger superhero world right outside of Gotham's borders. It's a really neat way to world build without blatantly cramming in too much. I think this is awesome. I didn't notice the Flash logo at all. Oh my god. So this guy said, do you think it's Flash logo or just a random piece of graffiti? And then obviously we have this Superman and then this Wonder Woman photo. I definitely think that it's a great idea to world build like this, because it, like this guy said, you don't cram so much into one thing. And I think that's the best possible like idea to do. Like it's like fulfilling all the fans' dreams of having a massive world of just superheroes, but but also you don't have to force it in. I really hope Warner Brothers doesn't make this Matt Reeves Batman verse something super massive and grand. I think having just Gotham is enough, and then hinting at all these superheroes, that's enough for me personally. I don't care to see Superman and Batman or Wonder Woman and Batman interact on the big screen. I care more for a solo Batman story. And especially when you get to the that Superman level, I think the only reason Batman and Superman worked well or decent together in the Zack Snyder universe is because of how grounded Superman was. But in all reality, Superman is a god, and him fighting beside Batman, at least in live action, is not that fun to me. I just don't really like it, because literally Superman has lasers and Batman has a grapple gun. I really just don't like them fighting side by side, but I do love big worlds and I do love massive world building, and I think this is an easy way to do it. I think it's the most simple way to do it without spending too much time on it and having to cram in a bunch of explanations. It's yeah, they exist, they're right outside of Gotham, people know that they exist, and people care, people respect these heroes, and Batman's not the only one. But yeah guys, that was me going through the r/TheBatmanFilm subreddit. Personally, I had a fun time making this video, and if you guys want to see more of me going through this subreddit, let me know by dropping a like ring down below. But yeah guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.